So we will call to order the meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Fairfield Public Library at 7:12 p.m. First, I didn't even realize we're doing roll call now, Scott.
Some of us attended training, and that's
Yep.
suggested agenda
Alright.
change.
So roll call, we'll walk through the attendees. Chris Rogers,
Here, present. Thumbs up.
right, so that's Chris. And then Peter, present. Aaron,
Here.
May. All right, and Andrew is present as well. Well, now, it appears we don't have any public comment. There's no one in the room, nor on the call. So with that, we'll move into the approval of minutes. Please take a moment to review the notes from our last meeting on February 12th. And let's know if there are any edits necessary. Are there any edits or comments to minutes from last month's meeting? Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that the Library Board of Trustees approves the minutes from the February meeting of the Library Board of Trustees.
I second that.
There you got the second. All in favor? Chris? Chris?
Yeah, I second it, so I'm all in favor, yeah.
All right, so moved. All righty. Next item of business, Chairman's report. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Aaron for running the meeting last month. Greatly appreciated
You're welcome.
taking that as I was out of town. I was in the middle of flying back, most people don't want to have me running a meeting from an airplane. I'm sure. Things have been good. We had a wonderful One Book, One Town event. Very excited about that. A lot of excitement in town with that, with not just the broader book, but some of the other age groups as well. I know there's been authors going around the schools as well. So wonderful stuff that really is very important about bringing our community together. So thank you to everyone that has contributed for that, not least the friends. Next item is the treasurer's report.
Sure, the assets in the endowments, with Vanguard, now the advisory has transferred over to Mercer. But the funds are still with Vanguard, so they're up again this month. Good news, up to 9.4 million at the end of February. Compared, that's about $500,000 up from the end of the year. So all good news, moving in the right direction. The only other update I have is, as we discussed last week and approved, that we agreed with moving over the advisory to the Mercer team. Again, this was when Mercer has acquisition of Vanguard's advisory team. I signed that document a few days after our last board meeting, and Andrew was copied on that. So we're all set moving forward.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. Moving on now to our town librarian's report.
So, the rescheduled Power Smart Solar and Storage Info Session at the main library provided a success, drawing a large audience. Teens of Woods Branch spread some Valentine's Day cheer by crafting heartfelt cards for seniors at the Apple Rehab in West Haven. On February 3rd, the library participated in Take Your Child to the Library Day. Thanks to Brooklyn Robot, children in grades 3 to 5 had a blast building and testing robots at the main library. Blind Date with a Book, which is kind of a display, was a hit with patrons. Rap books from different genres led to increased checkouts compared to last year. Technical services staff been working with Baker and Taylor representatives to explore Comics Plus, an online graphic novel database provided by Baker and Taylor. The children's department has decided to subscribe. 7 work orders were submitted for Maine, 3 of which remain open. 6 work orders were submitted for Fairfield Woods, 1 which remains open. And also the administration did a walkthrough with the town's building manager to discuss removing some shelving in the periodical room to maybe open up that space. In February, 4 incidents were reported across all the libraries, 2 at Maine and 2 at Woods. 1 required administration attention. Additionally, at the end of January, so if we missed our January report, we did have an incident that took place in a book club, which required administrative investigation and attention. And also a warning letter was sent to the individual. I thought staff handled it incredibly well, but it was slightly uncomfortable situation. On Tuesday, February 20th, 6 preparers from VITA Simplify CT helped 87 people with their taxes, the highest number so far this tax season. The board also should be aware of 2 state bills that address issues with digital licensing. One, SB 148, is out of committee and it's actually been co-sponsored by the entire Fairfield delegation. So all of our reps on both sides of the aisle are co-sponsoring SB 148. This, of course, is around ebooks and reducing ebook pricing. We're creating fair leasing agreements with the publishers. And then I'm going to hand it over to Jan to talk about Q2 statistics and the strategic plan update.
So, if you looked at the report, there's some graphs in there, and I did revise and include this little chart. If you didn't get a printed copy, let me know if you want that, but Scott likes to look at numbers one way, and I like to look at them another, so I'll try to include it. For the Q2 of this fiscal year over Q2 of last fiscal year, all the numbers are up, except for programming attendance and some programming. The adult services department and the children's department were both down a person who they each got one towards the end of November. And so they were unable to have as many programs as they usually do. So that's the reason for the little dip in programming numbers. The circulation and door count was up again, around 15% in each category over the previous year's same quarter. The numbers are down from Q1, which is July, August, and September, because that's summer reading and very many activities. October, November, December, the holidays, we always expect a dip in that quarter. So we're not concerned about this at all. Overall, things are doing very well.
Good question for you, Jan. the attendance per program for children's. So teen and adult were both per program up, so understand. Not being able to run as many programs. Is that just smaller programs for kids? Is that,
Yes, ordinarily during the fall, they go out and do school visits, at least in preschool, and I think that accounts for a lot of people in per program,
gotcha,
whereas they weren't able to do that. The other thing that I want to mention about programs is regarding the strategic plan, which is the last 3 pages. You'll notice that adult services has really done more programming that goes along with each of the 4 goals. I mean, pretty much all of our programming goes for goal 1, but they've also been involved in some great partnerships and other things, so I like that.
great. Great. Thank you, Dan.
So then, part B of the report is a municipal budget update. So far, all of our asks were included in the select board's budget. So when they voted that week, all of our asks went through. The only thing that changed was we did have a $42,000 reduction in our part-time wages line. But this was something that we expected. That was the money that was added in the previous year by the select woman's office, which was to pay for more part-time hours for more hours for part-time staff. So it's really with the idea of we're adding a full-time teen librarian, then some of those hours will be reallocated into that position. On Wednesday, February 6th, we were presented at 11:30 at night. Yes.
All right, we were done before midnight.
About we should get called around 9:30. To the Board of Finance, which is usually the hardest board to get through. This is 1 of 3 meetings, 2 of 3 meetings. We've made 1 stage. They asked many questions, but seemed supportive of our section of the budget, which really surprised us. They had really great, I'll share the video with you all, really great video. The selectman showed a picture of Jan and I presenting on his social media, saying this is a great way to end the evening. And then I got a really nice email from the chair of that committee saying, thank you for, so these are all positive things. That doesn't mean they'll vote yes for it. But there was no significant pushback about adding staff. Jan and I prepared for an hour before the meeting, like how we were going to respond, and they seemed very open to that. Very receptive to the Library of Things concept, which we had a little bit of concern going into this, and they were, they did say, make sure things are passed through the lawyer, but very, very receptive, and seemed, and I know Andrew's going to love this, seemed interested in us exploring fine print. Because part of our budget line, one of our reductions in income is a significant reduction in fines, and we had to explain that out. And they were very supportive of that, both kind of sides of the table. So we walked away feeling really, really good, exhausted, but feeling really, really good about the meeting. And so, they still have multiple meetings. It's going to be, we also got bumped very early in the process, which was kind of nice. But it'll be a few weeks before the finance board votes on the budget. But I'm feeling more optimistic than I did last year. So it was good. It was a great conversation back and forth. And after that is, once everything's said and done, then we go before the RTM. Again, RTM can't add anything, they can only subtract. So I think we're preparing ourselves. The finance board did have some really good questions. And that we have to get back to them on. They always want to see the breakdown in collection development budget, which is interesting, but we always share that with them. They're interested. Aaron, I think I emailed you. They're interested in the trustees, how much money the trustees have in the bank and the trustees.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. I wasn't following the emails exactly. If they had what they needed or didn't have what they needed.
It sounded to me like.
They want to see what's in the endowment?
Didn't want to provide it. I think we said we're gonna look back on the
We're gonna look at what
tape to see what it was exactly that they were asking, because we're not really that clear.
they wanted what they got last year, and they did get an amount for the endowment last year.
A total amount for.
Yeah, total.
Yeah, I mean,
investments.
if there's a certain date we want to give them as of, that's easy.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling positive, so.
Good.
Good. No, it's great to hear. That is, yeah, wonderful to hear. And, you know, in the, as we're going through this process, if there are anything you need from the board to support, letters, whatever, let us know. We can obviously put forth support, you know, part of the community. They are our elected representatives, so we will support you as however we need to. All right, anything else with regards to, librarian's report? Any questions, anything you want to press in on? Nope. All right. So with that, we'll move into the committee and liaison reports. We'll go to the fundraising committee.
Well, unfortunately, we're gonna get this going one way or the other. I was supposed to meet with Scott and the staff, and unfortunately, as I was leaving, I took a rather bad spill out of my garage, or shall I say, into my garage. Resulted in a cracked head open and, ended up over at St. V's. It's the second time in 2 years this has happened to me. Anyway, so we never got a chance to meet, and now that I'm back on my feet, we'll reschedule it.
We'll reschedule.
Okay. We take the
We still have it. We voted last month to renew it for another month. And I know I have to send Donna and Danielle over the sign-ins.
Yeah,
I know you emailed.
because we can start, trolling through in the meantime
yeah,
and see
I mean,
what's there.
I'm available now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Danielle had back surgery a week ago, so
Oh,
we're
I
not
feel
sure.
for her on that one.
Yeah,
too.
so we don't, she's doing stuff from home right now, but I think she's got some time in her hands. We have a lot going on, but we'll go through the calendar and stuff, but, at least, just to get in and even play a little bit around.
Yeah,
to
I
see
think
what's
we
out there.
should do that as, as soon
Yeah.
as she. Because anyway, could we do this with her zooming in or web based?
I'm sure we can. It's been a week, so let's give her another week and see how she's doing. We'll get this information and at least become familiar with it, and then we'll work to schedule a meeting, Peter.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Okay, great. Great. All right, and then moving into the ad hoc building committee. We have not had a chance to meet on the ad hoc building committee. I think one of the nice things is to being in the building. I think we can kind of see in this room in itself, part of the need to reinvigorate woods, if you will. And that I feel like I'm in that scene from The Matrix right now.
Are you on the night of the 25th?
Yes, exactly. Well, the camera in the corner there too. But with that being said, one of the things, we will need to meet on that prior. I would want to do that before Chris departs. But as he is departing at the end of June.
Have your attention, please. The library will be closing in half an hour. As a reminder, Wi-Fi will shut down 15 minutes before we close. Public computers will shut down 5 minutes before we close.
Anyway, is to, I think, next step, identify some potential plans of how we want to, potentially put this out to RFP using, well, I think part of it is to go through and see what worked, what didn't work as part of the RFP process for the website, and you use that as some learning. So I'll try to set up some time for us over the next month or so. Scott, for you, me, Aaron, and Chris to connect about what we want to think from just planning, architects, or signing up for architectural drawings, things like that. The main reason of that is I do want to make sure that we are planning out spend from the board, as we are getting requested of how much money we have by the town. Knowing that is something that is key to our independence as a board. So, that is the next step for us, is to take some of the learnings off of that. Just to start the conversation of design. Then I'll hand it off to Donna for the Friends of the Library update.
All right, so there's a lot going on. What was last week? Yesterday, we had the Sound Waves concert, which are always very well attended. April 3rd is Library Giving Day. So we used to participate in a Fairfield County Giving Day that was run by an organization that all these little nonprofits did. And it became a little noisy for people, I think, to give, because you'd go on a website and you would give, minimum you had to give is like $5. So people would go and do $5, $5, and $5 for all these charities. And nobody really made a whole lot of money doing it. And so we felt there was a little scattershot. Plus there also was a fee, the processing fee they took out of every donation. So you never got your whole $5 unless you asked people, to like gross it up to get it. So Library Giving Day, we thought was a little bit more specific and a little bit more in tune to the things we do. With lots of great programs that have happened. We have a lot of great stats to share with our patrons. So that'll be on April 4th. So you'll probably see emails about it. So that'll be about heading out there. On April 4th, the Illicit Brewery, I don't know if anyone's had an opportunity to go to that new brewery that's over across from BJ's. It's this massive building that used to be Planet Fitness. They are doing, Connect Fairfield is doing a sip and support for nonprofits. So there'll be a variety of nonprofits there that they're hoping to get people to, I'm not sure what the whole support thing is, but to come, I think it's for Illicit Brewing to get people in. But anyways, the Friends will be there. People will come. Maybe we can learn about the Friends, sign up some people, get people to come to the programs. So that's going to be on Thursday, this, I think it's the 6th. I don't think it's the 4th. It is, maybe it is the 4th. Mini golf is April 7th. So that'll be here in the library. That's always a big event. So mark that down, especially if you have kids. We have another gallery opening on April 11th, then a Sound Waves concert on the 20th. We have a book sale. We're going to redo the book sales again on the 26th to 28th, a fashion show for Jen Butler on the 28th of April as well. We have an author event on the 12th. We have a Liv Constantine event. She's another author who did The Last Mrs. Parrish. So her new book is coming out. It's actually a duo that writes it. We're doing an event filming with them. And we also have our literary luncheon, which is going to be on May 31st at the Patterson Club. And that we have Stephen Rowley, who wrote The Guncle, and his new book is The Guncle Goes Abroad. He will be the first male author that we've had since doing literary luncheons. So a lot of stuff going on, and we've got some good engagement. And the Water for Elephants fundraiser is happening. We're just waiting for board approval to purchase tickets ahead of time. So if anyone is interested in that, it'll be a 3-part thing. So we'll read the book, discuss the book. The book will be discussed on April 24th. So Mary Coe is helping us with that. 7:00, there'll be a book club at the main library. The movie with Reese Witherspoon and Robert Pattinson will be shown on May 1st at the library as well. We'll have snacks and drinks and whatever. And then we'll go to the actual play on Wednesday, the 15th. So it's a 2 p.m. It's a matinee show. And so we'll do a sort of comprehensive how the story develops from book to movie to play.
Very cool.
And that's it.
Very, very cool. Lots of stuff going on.
Lots of stuff going on.
My goodness. Donna, real quick, is there a calendar that has all, do we have a calendar that we could share out that has all the different events? Because there's,
So I'll put it in and I'll send it to you. But we do put our stuff is up on the main library's calendar too.
yeah,
But I think.
thought so.
No.
That's actually what I'm looking for
Yeah.
now.
What was the question?
On
Gonna be
the
for-
main calendar, we can't sort by what's a Friends event. It's just
I
a,
think maybe you can, but Danielle made a nice list. I
Yeah.
just made myself a note, maybe. you
oh,
could
yeah, I
just
can
send
copy that.
list
That's
to-
what I was reading off of. So we can put that out there.
Yeah, that'd be great, just to
Yeah.
make sure that, there is a lot of stuff going on.
And if people can come, it's great. And even these book clubs that are at JP Percival and at the Little Pub, like they're really fun. It's an interesting mix of people to come. The librarians do a great job selecting the books. Some people have read the book, some people haven't, but it's just nice to you get people together, have a drink, meeting somebody else, introducing them to the library. We did get a donation from a family foundation in town. They gave us a $750 donation specifically for the use of book clubs run by the library. So it is bringing people to the library, and it's also helping us to get some money to do some additional programming. So it's
Fantastic.
really fun, yeah.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. And actually, speaking of the calendar and the website, that leads us into our next item, the website redesign. How,
So that's going really, really well. We are, there we go. So, the staff have met, created a committee and met, had two very positive meetings with the firm. We will be reaching out to like the friends and other groups once we kind of get rolling. We will be sending out a staff survey about the website either this week or next. And then soon after, we'll be sending out another survey to stakeholders, including the trustees, to get your feedback as well on the site. There'll probably be multiple designs, 2 to 3, and we will be bringing those as we get closer to kind of do a preview to show you what the website could look like and get some feedback.
great. Do we have an updated timeline from the firm?
We don't, it's looking like, my guess would be June.
Yeah,
That would be my guess right now. Because we're about a month behind, they put us designing it while we're doing school outreaches. So our children's staff would be locked
Yep.
in. So we've actually kind of flipped it around how most libraries do it. And our children's staff are now more engaged now. And so we're basically gonna build it children's, teens, adults, as opposed to almost always it's adults, teens, and children. So we're kind of basing around there. We're still with the idea of a launch around May or June.
okay. If you have just a time, like,
Yeah, I'll get you.
that's, yeah. Something that I have to deal with and work. It'd be nice to have that to reference back to, just make sure we're staying on track to have it available. I probably won't be in time for summer reading, I would imagine. But, as we go into that, it would be nice to have that as during make sure don't miss that window with the excitement around summer reading.
Great.
Cause I think there's gonna be a lot of excitement around the new website, cause it's gonna use a facelift. So, it's great. All right, on to the reconciliations and check registry. So,
So the reconciliations were in the packet. There's nothing significant in that. The checks for approval here tonight are in the separate list. They're mostly minor programming, amounts, regular amounts, Lori would, and whatnot. And there's also the down payment for the website to Sterling Brand Works. So, these checks will go out either tomorrow morning, or if they're for programs later in the month, they'll be held until then.
okay, great.
And we forgot to add to the agenda.
The recommended motion.
Oh, no, yeah.
So two things. We asked for one thing to be added to new business, which is, May needs to be given permission to sign the documents for, what is the, mixed up at this point.
Barbara Frankel.
The Barbara Frankel, it's the estate that never goes away. The Barbara Frankel estate, we need to make a motion, like the one we made in the
The
past.
motion to authorize
May.
May as a signer, as secretary, along with Aaron and Andrew, because I don't want this coming back to me again.
It was on the original agenda, and then when I made the edits, I edited it. As soon as I saw it go, I'm like, Jan's gonna kill me.
And do not leave the room without signing this, all three of you.
And then the other thing, we need to make, there needs to be a motion to accept
The
the check registry.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I just wanted to mention another bequest that we've received, but do this first.
I just have one question. The 312 check says March and also February.
What?
The first one?
Checks for approval. The March 12 check to Jennifer Butler is for March. And it's for February.
Right, so I need to get people's invoices prior to the Thursday before this meeting in order to generate this list. And so for their February invoice I didn't have by that.
Oh, so it's for both?
Yeah.
Okay, I
2
just
months
saw
worth.
that the other ones were all for one.
It actually
One
should be
item.
200. It should be 200. Can I amend that to be 200? So that when I print the check, it's,
So it's gonna be February and March is
yes,
100 per.
yes.
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, we note that.
Thank you for catching that.
Yes, good catch.
What is the total of the Sterling? Do we know yet? Sterling Brand Works, the
The
website?
website redesign.
The-
Oh, yes,
This is the first payment? I'm sure you brought it up.
34,000.
Okay,
I want to give you an exact number.
that's okay. I mean, that's completely fine. That's close
That
enough.
must be,
Yeah.
name of the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were.
Motion? It's not on
Yes,
the agenda, but I believe we need to make it, right?
yes, we do need to have a motion to approve the checks as edited.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the check register for March as edited as we just discussed.
So moved. Second, all in favor? Chris? I think we lost him. All right, all opposed? All right, so moved. So it's moved.
43. I
43.
remember. I
Oh, so there's
flipped-
4 installments, I assume?
I remember I flipped
Yeah.
numbers.
Okay.
So-
Could be, it could also be 25. Well, is it 4 installments or is
I
it
think it is.
25, 50, 25?
That's true. Yeah, it could be.
So is the motion for the signers, does that go under
New
unfinished
business.
business?
New
Like,
business.
Do business.
oh,
So with that, we'll then move into the policy review. Starting with children and teen spaces.
So these are just for review. These are, these would replace the unattended adults in the children's room policy and the unattended children's policy. The town librarians.
Sorry,
review-
Scott, say that one more time.
Okay, so this would replace the unattended adults in children's library policy and also the unattended child policy.
Okay,
The town attorney has reviewed both, but has concerns about the age restrictions, about the unattended adults in the children's library policy which was also changed to cover the teen room as well. So he and I are meeting this week to go over it. He actually is totally fine with the service to minors policy. I just changed the terminology because it just sounds more professional and that's typically the name of that policy. So service to minors policy really just kind of outlines what's expected behavior, what ages they can be in the library. One thing that we've never said is what is the age of a caregiver? And we had a lot of conversations around this, we were very open to that and there was some discussion like, what is the age we're comfortable, an older sibling or an older cousin bringing in a child who's 12 and over or 11 and under. So that lays it out as child 14 and old can be considered a caregiver. And it also just, talks about how, much like the previous policy, that we don't replace parents. We're not there to watch the child. We're not a child that we're not responsible for the children that way. Of course, we always keep an eye out. A lot of the same language that was in the previous policy. And it also lays out kind of, why a child in sixth grade, maybe 11, and still allowed to stay in the building without having the parent right there. I think it's a really good policy. I think it's an important policy to have. And one thing that's important is that it lays out that we expect behavior of a child who's 12 and older. We see be following the same behavior guidelines as our adults and as our teens. So, just take some time to look over that policy. It's an important one. And like I said, I will get back to you about the age restrictions in the children's and teen spaces, because the lawyer does have a lot of concerns around that language. So we'll come back next month and talk.
May I have your attention, please? The library is closing at 8 p.m. Please check out your library materials. Public computers will shut down 5 minutes before we close.
Any questions with regards to either one of these policies? All right. So the children's and teen spaces is more on the unattended adult.
Yes, whether or not we can create an age restriction, which we currently have for the children's room, but nothing in policy for the teen room, which is actually where we've had more issues. We've been having some issues with parents bringing their younger children into the teen room because the children's room is too busy. Teen room's on the first floor. There's puzzles and games and a gaming system. Problem with that is they're not age appropriate puzzles and games.
Yep.
And also it kind of makes the teens feel really uncomfortable
Yep.
to have little ones, or adults. And that's another issue, is really having adults in the teen room. This is in New York, we had a very strict age restriction because we had situations where there were adults in the room and they were making the kids feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, I will get back to you on that one. I'm sure it's going to be a really interesting conversation between Bill and I, because he has some concerns over Steve.
Yeah, it'll be good to hear what his feedback is. I think the way they're written lays it out pretty straightforwardly, particularly for the teen spaces. But yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
All right. Don't believe we have unfinished business, so under new business, strategic plan. We want to call this out. The strategic plan that we have currently in place runs through 2024, the fiscal of 2024. So we will need to either develop a new strategic plan, or my personal recommendation would be to extend our current strategic plan. But this is something that we'd like to probably have some additional discussion in our next meeting to make sure that if there are any edits or adjustments needed to the existing plan, we can have that discussion. So we'll aim to have that discussion and review more in depth in next month's meeting. So we make sure that, I think obviously Jan has put this stuff together within the packet, aligning things to our plan is extremely helpful in terms of how we're looking at this. So we'll probably use some of those examples to help with the review of that. And then the other item for new business is to get May access to, sorry, I lost my internet connection. So I don't have the access to the old.
So do we know when we voted last time for the signers of the?
We voted in January.
September, November,
I
January.
think it was January.
Well, Andrew was there, so it wasn't last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Same stuff.
I think it was January.
So I was missing from that.
I don't think it's,
So
perhaps, maybe it was December?
Maybe I was, there was one meeting I was there, but I wasn't sworn in.
I think it was December then.
December.
So just, if you could just,
I'm looking to see if I can find the,
the missing words,
well, gotta make the motion, because the motion was very specific.
the new motion.
Yes,
The
so
old
we'll
one.
take the old motion and then we'll add.
It's bad. Or did we, it didn't work. I think the motion is, if you could follow me, to authorize May Bear as board secretary to sign along with Aaron and Andrew, the documents pertaining to the Barbara Frankel annuity.
That sounds right.
Sounds perfect. Oh, will I remember?
You want to pass it down and then I can, so they can sign?
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah,
I get it all correct.
Did I miss the photography policy? Did we talk about it?
We changed that just because we have to deal with these two policies first, so that'll be a new policy to look at next month.
Okay. Did you say, I might have zoned out.
Mr. Rogers made a motion, library board trustee. No, actually, that's pretty good. Pretty close to the original. Was,
Well, I want the along.
motion that the library board of trustees approve Ms. Harrigan as treasurer and Mr. Andrew Manea as chairperson, acting secretary to be signers for the document related to acceptance of the Barbara Frankel annuity. So,
Okay, somebody want to try to make a motion on that?
I'll give it a shot. Right. I'll make a motion to approve Miss May Bear as secretary to authorize May as secretary to be able to approve the Barbara Frankel
signers. She has to be a signer.
signer.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve that Miss May Bear is approved as a signer to authorize that along with Aaron Harrigan and Andrew Manea to authorize Manea to authorize the gift from the Barbara Frankel estate. The Barbara Frankel annuity.
There you go.
Got that, Lori?
No. Got that?
To authorize what?
To sign.
To authorize the payment from the Barbara Frankel or just.
No, you're authorizing her to sign.
We're authorizing her to sign. Okay.
Authorizing it to sign.
We're authorizing her to sign
Document
the document
pertaining to.
pertaining to.
Documents and payments due.
But someone's
Through
gonna
the-
hack this up when I.
Yeah.
I'll help you with that. You want to pass this down to?
All right, do we have a second?
It gets tricky.
Yeah, the language.
Do we have a second?
Can I second?
Yes, you can second.
Authorization second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's unanimous.
Did you tell May what it means to be a fiduciary of this,
You take your time if you wish to read that.
Yes.
No, it's fine.
So moved. Jan, do you need us to sign again?
Yes, we have fresh document.
Lori, your MSN.com. I just sent you.
I know, it's a very difficult name to pronounce.
And then I have one other item under new business.
Yes, Jan.
So we received another bequest from a beloved patron, Meg Simcoe. Meg was a very, very regular patron who used audiobooks. She was visually impaired. And so she passed away recently and her will leaves us 57% of her estate, which we have no idea how much that is.
how much?
57%.
That would be a sizable amount.
The library is closing, please. check out
Margaret
the library
Simcoe,
materials immediately.
Simiko.
You own a house?
I think so. It's very sketchy what probate sent out. We have the.
SMIK?
S-I-M.
SIMKO.
K-O. Is there anything we need to
Nope.
authorize?
It's probate now, so.
No stipulations in terms of
Yes,
naming.
yes, thank you very much. The stipulation is that it be spent on, may use and expend for large print books, readers, appliances, devices, apparatus aids, and other such materials designed for or otherwise assisting those with vision impairments, which could also mean, digital audio, even ebooks, which can be, the print size can be increased. So that's pretty broad. And also, if she had devices herself at home, she's left those to us and Peapod to divide. But this will is from 2011. So, you know, things have changed a little bit. And Peapod Library got 38%, I believe.
In addition to the 57 we got?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
We may be pleasantly surprised.
Perhaps. It's a lot of books on tape.
Huh?
It's a lot of books on tape.
well, digital audio is one of the fastest growing things.
Yeah.
And
Expensive.
I was just gonna say, I think that as we've moved with technology wise, a lot of the resources we do have are set up for benefit, you know, could be beneficial to those vision impairment.
And we're still getting large type for, a lot of our homebound patrons.
Great,
Use large type and it would be helpful.
wonderful. Well, in the circumstances. All right. Our next meeting will be on April 8th, so,
Andrew, I have one question or.
oh yeah,
Library is closing in 2 minutes.
We just
Please
received
check
an
out
email
the library materials
renewing
immediately.
our
Thank you.
Association of Connecticut Library Boards membership. Is that something that we would need to discuss and vote on?
oh, we got that in the mail, did we now?
We always just renew that, but
Or is it
you might want
automatic?
to vote on it.
We should probably vote on that,
That's a
yeah.
good idea.
Should we do that now or next?
Yeah, we can do that now. We're here. We can approve that.
It's $100 annual.
What is it?
The Association of Connecticut Library Boards membership. Annual.
All right, so we'll add another item into new business, which is the renewal of our membership to the Association of Connecticut Library Boards.
Yes.
All right, do we have a motion to authorize the spend for that?
So moved.
Peter, come on. Let's do that.
You need the motion.
Yeah, I need a motion.
I mean, I just stumbled through the other one.
Resolved that Fairfield Public Library Board of Trustees approves the continued membership for the Fairfield. The
Association of Connecticut Library Boards.
library board.
All right.
I will second that.
All in favor? All opposed? It passes. All right, that authorizes the $100 to, no, just a question of process, Scott. We've already authorized the registry.
We can use the bank card to renew if they accept bank cards.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all they,
That's all they accept, so we'll just make that.
Okay, perfect.
I think it has to be a check. If on this form, unless it.
I think I usually do it online with the debit card.
Okay. Yeah, that's preferred for them as well. All right,
But if it is a check, it will still need to be passed through the check registry.
yep, which we can do next month.
And do you take care of that or should I?
We'll see.
All right, our next meeting will be on April 8th, the day after mini golf. At the main library, so looking forward to hearing how it's gone, and yeah, Don, as
Yeah,
a
I'll send
note,
it out.
if you could That'd be great. I know people are excited, especially my kids.
Yeah.
With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor? All opposed? So passed. With that, we will adjourn our meeting at 8:01 PM. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you back, well, not here, but we'll see you in a month.